Denver 7 Now is sponsored by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
I'm Tom Mustin with your Denver 7 Now update. We've been trying to bring you this next story for some time now, and every time we get close, the central figure has tried to shut us down. Well, that ends tonight. So without further delay, here's Contact 7's Liz Gilardi with a tale of a rancher and a repairman with an apparent habit of keeping the trucks he's supposed to be fixing.
Life on this small ranch hasn't been easy ever since Daniel Brooks started having problems with his pickup truck.
I was towing horses up to go to Utah.
His 2010 Ford F-450 broke down just a couple months after he bought it.
Was told that it had a blown engine, so that kind of started the process of getting a new motor for the truck.
That was January. The truck was towed to an auto shop in Elizabeth, and then it went to Douglas County Diesel. Daniel says in February, his insurance company cut a check for a little more than $18,000.
So I hadn't been to the shop in months. Several months. I haven't seen the truck since February.
He kept checking in with the shop's owner, Chad King. He says there was always an answer or a reason why the truck wasn't ready yet.
Once the motor was in, it had some issues, electric issues is what I was told.
After months of getting the runaround, Daniel reached out to Contact 7 when he started to wonder where his truck was and if it was fixed. He also called Castle Rock police and reported the truck stolen in November. Then he got a phone call.
Castle Rock PD found the vehicle, called me. I just came down. It's still in the shape it was when it was brought to Douglas County Diesel, it appears.
Police found the truck in a tow yard. It wasn't at Douglas County Diesel, and he says it wasn't repaired.
Doesn't run, won't start.
We called the shop's owner.
This is Chad.
To get his side of the story. He told us his wife was sick.
When my wife fell ill, I told him that I wasn't going to be around for a few weeks. Other than that, I got to talk with my attorney.
We tried to reach out again before we aired this story. This time, Chad didn't answer or return our phone calls. The situation with Daniel's truck doesn't appear to be isolated. Castle Rock police confirmed they are investigating 2 vehicle theft cases involving Douglas County Diesel. In Daniel's case, they found his truck. But another truck, a 1995 green Dodge pickup, is still missing 9 months after the owners took it in for repairs.
It's had a massive effect on my personal life and my livelihood.
His truck still isn't fixed, and his insurance check is gone.
He had almost $19,000 to, I guess, give me hope, because I knew if this was all a lie that I was out the money. The check's been cashed.
Now Daniel is having to borrow money to finally fix his truck, and he wants to warn others about his experience with Douglas County Diesel. Liz Gilardi, Denver 7.
And by the way, this guy had us jumping through so many hoops, we needed 2 reporters to finish the story. So kudos to Megan Lopez for also working on it. If you ever need our help, the number to call or text is on your screen there. You can also send us an email at contact7@thedenverchannel.com. Here's a question for you. Is your street more drivable today? No, really, we want to know. Send us an email to the address at the bottom of your screen throughout the newscast. For our part, many of us noticed a big difference for the better during our drive into work today. For that, we can thank the city for bowing to public pressure and bringing back the plows. Mother Nature and all that sunshine deserves a shout out as well. Now, earlier today, we had the chance to ask Denver's Mayor Michael Hancock about the snow cleanup and if it's perhaps time to rethink the whole give the side streets one pass and call it a day approach. Now, he defended his employees, repeatedly calling the storm unique, and he admitted the response, though, was not perfect.
Was it acceptable? Certainly we wanted to be better, more safely to pass, but at the end of the day, it was unique. And trying something different a week later is a much better strategy, at least from what we saw and what we've done in the past where it was not safe. So, you know, we can always get better, but I can tell you, what more can you do in the midst of the storm on a holiday weekend? You've got a team moving in now with plows on the streets, and they have never stopped.
And by the way, for the record, the sidewalks are still terrible tonight, and not just in Denver. Well, Broncos country, tonight you have another reason to love Drew Lock. Not only has he won a game for the Broncos, he's also never been sued for punching Von Miller's personal cameraman, like former quarterback Chad Kelly. Now, according to court documents, that's exactly what spurred all the craziness that followed last year's fateful Halloween party at the Gothic Theater. It ended with Kelly waltzing into a stranger's home, sitting down next to a woman and child, and then getting run out by one very angry, vacuum hose-wielding husband. The Broncos cut Kelly from the team the very next day. He hasn't played in the NFL since. We all have that one light, that one intersection, that one part of town where no matter when you hit it, you know you're going to be stuck in traffic. Well, in Boulder County, there's a certain section of the diagonal highway that can keep drivers waiting for half an hour at a time. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne has more tonight on the plan to fix it.
It is stunningly scenic and yet at times infuriatingly unsightly.
I mean, you're sitting there 20 to 30 minutes.
The bottleneck on the diagonal highway at Highway 52 near IBM in Boulder County is without question a result of Colorado's explosive growth.
Rush hours have gotten pretty bad.
I mean, anytime between 3 and 5 p.m. it jams up, right about where IBM, in between 63rd and IBM.
Around IBM, between like 3 and 5 is where it really bottlenecks.
CDOT's plan is to redesign the intersection and time the lights to match the green light cycles from 287 in Longmont all the way to 47th Street in Boulder, which most agree is the right way.
I think that would help a lot.
Drew Dyer lives in Boulder, works in Longmont, and drives the road nearly every day when it's moving and at times when it's not.
You know, sometimes you'll get through in 10 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes.
Ultimately, the plan calls for expanding the diagonal highway in each direction by adding a bus lane and an HOV toll lane.
Bus lanes would be a good idea.
James Killingsworth is an RTD bus driver who says adding lanes is long overdue.
That'd be a really smart idea. A lot of wrecks there.
While the ambitious project calls for a major expansion, CDOT only has about 30 of the $250 million needed at the moment. So it will start with the intersection near IBM and go from there.
I think in the grand scheme of things, I think it would help out a lot of people.
Improvements that will take time, but could save you time in the future. In Boulder County, Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Thank you, Russell, and thank you for watching this Denver 7 Now update. Be sure and download the Denver 7 app for your smartphone to get breaking news and alerts around the clock. I'm Tom Mustin.